Say, hey everyone, welcome into another edition of Say Hey Plays. My name is Jose Bouquett. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Shout out to Dabby Cab, who had an emergency guest hosting spot yesterday. I left my laptop charger somewhere and I found it eventually, but I didn't have a laptop charger. I didn't have a laptop, so I couldn't do the show. But I appreciate Dabby for joining me. And no laptop. I didn't make any research. Didn't even bet anything yesterday. So it was kind of a weird day. I only had one bet that I liked, and it was fading my bum ass Red Sox. But we'll talk all about them, I'm sure, when someone will bring it up in the chat. We'll discuss all the games on the card today. Guest today's spin doc, but got pulled into a meeting about 10 minutes ago for work. So we'll see if he joins us at some point in the show. He'll be on right after that meeting ends. So fingers crossed for us here. But we're gonna get into a semi small slate of action here. I don't have any action locked in yet. I definitely have some spots as always that I'm looking at. Tori Coker definitely got you on the ticket counts and money line. Don't worry, my man. Rocco, RVD 420, Gerald Jones, nice to see you guys. Shout out to you, Ricky Bobby, for being a new member as always. And shout out to you, Ricky Bobby, because you might have heard the Cappers contest is back. Cappers contest is back, and signups are live right now. You can sign up today on the Pub Sports Radio website, $100 to enter. And it's again, hashtag beat Pete. Got to knock Pete off of his perch. He's too cocky. Need to take him down. And yes, the Cappers contest show does return this year as well. Members only Cappers contest show this year. So only if you're a member of the Pub Club, the Pub Members Club, whatever you want to call it, you will get that live being able to vote along with us all to decide what our ticket's going to be for the Circus Super Contest this year and all that good stuff. So shout out to you guys, and don't forget about the Survivor Contest as well. All right, let's get right into these games here. I don't have, like I mentioned, any action locked in yet, but I do have some spots that I would like to talk out with the chat as always. I was hoping to talk it out with our guy Spin Doc. Hopefully he is here very soon as well. But as long as you guys in the chat are here, I think I'm in good company. First game, as always, let's talk Miami Marlins, Cincinnati Reds here. A good pitching matchup here with Yuri Perez versus Brandon Williamson. Now, we all know the Marlins' proficiency against lefties. We'll start with that. Full season against lefties. As my page loads here, they are third, 120 weighted runs created plus in the league. That's kind of surprising to say that the Marlins are third in anything, but they're third. And over the last month, from the first of last month, which was July, I have to remind myself of that, to today, the Marlins are fifth, 126 weighted runs created plus. So I just think they get to lefties here. And we've talked about Brandon Williamson and how he's progressed and become a better pitcher. I mean, he's not a perfect pitcher, and he's pitched okay in spots. He got crushed against the Cubs last time out for 5 earned runs on 2 home runs. And, the Cubs at one point were very proficient against lefties. Now they're about even out. I just think the Marlins get to him here. And the line opened up for me at minus 125. And you can see the line has bounced up. I've actually got it at minus 142 now at our friends at Bovada. And I'm going to move on it at our friends at Bet Online. Miami Marlins on some way here. Am I going to take first 5 or full game? Wow, first 5 is minus 150. My goodness, that's crazy. Well, let's talk about Yuri Perez here, because I said I want to back the Marlins, but we have not talked about good old Yuri Perez here. Yuri, back in our lives here, the Marlins sent him down to kind of save his arm, and they wanted him for the stretch run, do some innings count bullshit, but now he's back, and he had 2 starts coming back in Double-A here, and they both weren't very good. 2 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, no walks, upside there, and then 3 1/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, 1 walk there. So both of them sound pretty good to me. Walks to strikeout wise, that's really what I'd be focusing on. Focusing on for these minor league rehab starts. Sure, he got touched up a little bit, 4 hits both times, some runs, but I still think the guy can go out there and shove. So I'm going to be on the Marlins in some form or fashion here. Let me look at the chat real quick, and we'll talk about the numbers here. Yes, Gerald Jones mentioning Perez pitch count. Is he on a pitch count today? Gerald Jones? Is he only like a certain amount of pitches? This would be very interesting. I assumed he would be ready to go after that couple of rehabs, but I guess not. That would make a whole lot of sense here. Shout out to my guy Moose Money in the chat here. Justin McElvey, by the way, mentioning a 5-3 Padres score. I'm not even watching that game right now. Stacks Pod, shout out to you, Justin McElvey, joining us. Is JT Real Muto over 1.5 bases there. Gerald Jones had a great weekend on the diamond too. I love that as well, my guy. Slow Jams Arsenault joining us here as well. Shout out to Dabby Cab. We just talked about you on the top, about how you did an excellent job guest hosting, even though you didn't think you did, but we appreciate you, my man. See you very soon. Ticket count for this game. Let's get right into it here. And like I said, I'm very interested in the Marlins here. And seemingly everyone else, 68% of the bets and 82% of the bets on the Marlins, I should say, and totals wise here, really high total. I know it's at Great American, but just a shockingly high total. 56% of the bets and 61% of the money on the under here, but it's seemingly when opened at 10, now gone to a 10.5 here. So very interesting. Yeah, I'm BJ. I'm going to be on the Marlins in some form or fashion here. I'm going to take the Marlins at like minus 133 Vitalis, not a minus 140. Don't worry. I've got it minus 133 at our friends at Bet Online. Again, if you need a book, go sign up there with promo code Pub Sports. You can have a little link to the website or from our website, pubsportsradio.com. But I just don't know what if I'm going to double up on it or not. First 5 minus a half, minus 110, and full game money line minus 133 seems pretty interesting to me here. Rocco saying, I hate the lineup the Fish are putting out today. I'd be on them, but nah. And Vitalis mentioning, yes. Well, let me tell you this, Jose. We have the sharps on the Marlins and the cash on the Marlins. It's under 90%. Everything is ticked the Marlins, but at minus 140. Dios mío, Jose. Sound like my mom there. My guy BJ on it for 3 units. Okay. All right. I'll move on Marlins money line minus 133. And I'm going to hope that bullpen can keep its shit together. But Marlins money line minus 133 on our friends at Bet Online official right now. All right, next game on our slate here, Minnesota, Detroit. This was actually a disgusting game that I didn't really want anything to do. My guy Pablo Lopez, haven't DM'd him in a while. You know, maybe I'm a creep. I don't know, I guess. But my close personal friend Pablo Lopez against Joey Wentz of the Tigers here. The Marlins, or not the Marlins. I've got Marlins on my brains now. The Minnesota Twins are just shockingly bad against lefties. 27th full seed and 86 weighted runs created plus on them right now. And in the last month, like we mentioned earlier, they're 20th, 93 weighted runs created plus. So I guess they've been hitting them better, but I don't even trust them here against Joey Wentz, who we all know and don't trust at all. So this is one of the more easy passes I had on the card here today. And by the way, Lex Seal dropping a Twins kill him here. Very interesting. 16 mile an hour winds blowing out. A little Yerfy here for Lex Steele. Let's check out that wind here in a second, but let's talk about the market first on this game. I would be surprised. Yeah, 80% of the bets and 61% of the money on the Twins, which I guess with 80%, you probably want more than 80% of the money on them, but it's still a substantial amount of bets and money on the Minnesota Twins here. And for the total, under love. Shocking, really. Let me see here. I'm looking at Swish now for the weather, and yeah, it's. I've got 10 mile an hour winds blowing out to that is a left center there, and it dies down throughout the game. But I'll tell you, all the money on the under, or majority of the money, I should say, 65% of the bets and 63% of the money on the under. That's pretty surprising. You know, like I said, I would lean. I guess it's just the fact that the Twins are horrible against lefties and the Tigers are bad against everyone. So I guess I could see it here. But I want nothing to do with this game at all here as well. So shout out to everyone in the chat. If you guys have action on this game, drop it in there. Like my guy Tori Coker is saying, he's got Tigers first 5 money line. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. Shout out to Nasty Nate, my guy. I'll see you very soon, my man. Excited for that. Yeah, this seems like there's not much chatter about this game. I don't blame you guys. Shit game. So let's go to the next one here. Oh, man. So, previewing what I thought I would be on in this card, or thinking about what I'm going to be on this card, is a better way I could say it. It's like, what am I going to bet today? I was looking at some of the odds, and I was like, man, it feels like I'm just about to have like 3 or 4 just big dogs on my card today because some of these lines I think are ridiculous. Starting here, Trevor Williams versus the Nationals, or Trevor Williams on the Nationals versus the Phillies. And the Nationals, again, we've talked about teams that hit lefties. The Nationals are one of them. Nationals are pretty damn good against lefties. They're 11th full season, 108 weighted runs created plus. And in the last month, they're 11th with 117 weighted runs created plus. And Ranger Suarez has not been a guy we've looked to back here in a couple of weeks. He had a moment there of being a beast, being back here, but I don't know. He had a good start last time against the aforementioned Marlins. Excuse me. The aforementioned Marlins, 6 1/3, 10 hits, 1 earned run, 2 Ks, two walks, I should say, 3 Ks there. Excuse me. It looks like he just played with fire a lot. Obviously, left a lot of guys on base, but 10 hits is a still substantial amount, so we have to respect him there. But his starts before then, 4 runs against Baltimore, 4 runs against Cleveland, 3 against the Padres, 4 runs against Miami, 3 of them earned, 5 against the Nationals, these aforementioned Nationals. And he's had 2 starts against the Nationals, 5 1/3, 7 hits, 5 earned runs on 2 home runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks. And at the Nationals, by the way, yeah, that start was last month on the 2nd, and this next start was at the Nationals. 7 innings, 8 hits, 1 earned run there. We're back at the bank. Obviously, it seems like we're going to get some offense here just based off the total. So I like the Nationals here in a former fashion. I think I'm going to take them first 5 here, either money line, and then maybe I'll take them plus a half, just like I do with. What are we doing? What are we doing with Blackburn? There we go. His name escapes me, but yes. And by the way, the Dodgers apparently just came back, huh? Jesus. So 8-5 Dodgers. Wow. All right. Well, that's what it is, man, and that's what that is. It's funny. I said the other day that I just would bet the Dodgers every time against the Padres, and it seems to be that's the case. I don't know. It's pretty wild to see the Padres blow these games. I mean, I had the Dodgers the other day plus 130, and they lost it to the Padres, but still just seems to be a good bet every time. But yeah, I like the Washington Nationals here, guys. And let me check on our friends at Bet Online to see what a good price on these Nationals would be here. First 5 money line, I could get at. You know what? I'll take first 5 run line and full game money line. Double up on the Nationals here to fold these Phillies up, who have been feeling good about themselves. Their shortstop finally showed up for a game after the Phillies fans were begging him to do something. I obviously threw up in my mouth seeing it, but we'll see. We'll see if he can keep it up. I don't believe in the guy, obviously. Market wise for this game, let's talk about it. Big money on the Nationals. Pretty surprising. About a 50-50 ticket split, 53% of the bets, and 89% of the money on the Washington Nationals here. Totals wise, over Palooza here. 88% of the bets and 96% of the money on the over 10, which the action is saying this opened up at a 9 and it's bounced all the way up to 10. So here we go. All right. Whew. It's gonna be a stressful afternoon with some fucking shitty dogs on my car. But let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes here. All right. Next game on our slate. Nationals first 5 plus a half, 133, and full game money line plus 206. Let's talk about another line that I think is crazy. Minus 305 for Spencer Strider here. I understand Spencer Strider has been excellent at points this season, but I just do not think he is a minus 305 starter. And on the road, I like the Pirates here. I really do. And I think I'm going to move on them as well. No familiarity for him against the Pirates, which is not ideal. Obviously, I'd like the Pirates to somewhat see him, but he hasn't seen him this year. Dominated the Angels last time out, 6 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 9 Ks, 2 walks. We remember that because we were all on his K prop, and he got caught by the hooker, unfortunately, there. And then he went against the Red Sox, 6 innings, 6 1/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned off 2 home runs. I just thought this price was crazy. I don't know about you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. But Osvaldo Bido has not been horrible. I know this is obviously like on top of trying to beat Spencer Strider, you have to stop the best offense in baseball here, and they've been phenomenal. Ronald's going to win an MVP, et cetera, et cetera. But I just thought this is a pretty surprising price to give them that much love here. Let's go to the market real quick and decide if I'm going to be on the Pirates here. And again, we know the minus 300 rules is if you guys follow this program, you guys will know the rule by heart, it seems like. But only 26% of the bets and 20% of the money on the Pirates here. So you can tell 74% of the bets and 80% of the money on the Braves. Everyone feels good about the Braves. And it seems like this line has dropped for the Braves here, which I need to double check on another site here. It is right now. So on Bovada, I'll check that real quick. Their opener, they had the Braves at minus 270. Jesus Christ. What did I have it at last night? Yeah. I had it at minus 270 and it's gone up to minus 310 now. Yeah, you know what? I'll stay off. I cannot get there with this market. I would rather the line be moving towards the Pirates at that point. If it keeps moving towards the Braves, that scares me enough. But I just really think that the Pirates could be in this game, even with a low total at 9. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we got like a first to 5 plus a half or a full game run line plus 1.5 from the Pirates here. But I'll stay off, and if both of those cash, I'll be super pissed, and we'll see what we do in the next coming days here. But I really do agree with Alfred 44 here. He really does get overpriced, man. Like he's great. He gets all the strikeouts, but I think he's one of the most overpriced pitchers in baseball by just watching him go out there and just give up runs. It just, it helps when you have the best offense in baseball behind your back there. So, Rocco asking for the weather in this game. It is pretty windy on Swish Analytics or Swish, whatever you want to call it. It says the wind factors are strong right to left here. 11-mile-an-hour winds kind of going to right field there. Kind of dies down to 9.6 to 8.4, and there's some light rain in the forecast as well. Apparently a 25% chance, but we know that Swish isn't the best when it comes to weather, like rain and such. It just does a good job on illustrating the wind here. But on RotoWire, this game is in red. Honestly, if this game does rain and it stops and starts, and you get fucking Spencer Strider to come out this game, you're feeling great. You're feeling great about that because the Braves bullpen is not the best, and obviously the Pirates isn't either. But yeah, I'll sit here and think about it. I'll sit here and think about the Pirates, but I will not move on it on right now. And RotoWire again, I don't ultimately trust RotoWire either with the weather. It's in red, but we'll see. All right, let's go to the Boston Red Sox versus the Kansas City Royals. Wrong graphic. There we go. What a fucking disappointing series they had this weekend. And wherever Dennis Garcia is, I'm sure he's smiling and cackling now that the Blue Jays just came into Boston, brought a shitload of fans, pulled out the paddle, and just slapped the Red Sox around for the whole series. It was sickening. The Red Sox self-imploded. On the Sunday game, I fucking knew they weren't going to win that. Their series ended, or their season ended the day before. So this Red Sox team is done. I think they're honestly a good fade team going forward here. But the issue here is that I think that maybe a little bit too obvious because you've got a ridiculous percentage of money on the Royals here. Or sorry, on the red, that's on total. Sorry, look at the wrong thing. There we go. A ridiculous percentage of the money. 38% of the bets and 94% of the money on the Royals here. And that seems crazy to me, but it might be the way here, guys. It might be the way. So let's talk about this game and let's recap the other games we've mentioned real quick because we have our special guest joining us here. Finished with his meetings. very important man, this guy. He's just to be there, but decision maker, we call him, and he's going to help us make our decisions on the card here. It is our guy at Spin Sports. Doc, how are you doing?
Tired of meetings, but otherwise good.
I can understand that. Meetings can be definitely a pain in the dick, but we're glad that you're here with us, Doc.
Glad I'm back.
We've mentioned a few games so far here. We've talked about the Marlins, the Twins, the Nationals, the Braves, and we're talking the Red Sox Royals game here. Did you have any thoughts on any of those earlier games on the card real quick?
Oh, the Twins game for sure. And in fact, I'll make this my first official show pick. I hate to have to do it, but Tigers money line plus 145. Here's why. My Twins are obviously on a hot streak. We swept the Diamondbacks over the weekend. And these are the kind of games that we don't win. And what I mean by that is we had a good team at home, took them all, and we had Joe Mauer Day on Saturday. So it was an emotional
I saw that, especially because they invited the one dude that struck out Joe Mauer in high school, apparently.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Actually, funny story. My brother actually played basketball, varsity basketball against Joe Mauer in high school when he was
at
Creighton.
Joe Mauer played basketball.
He played everything. Yeah. So anyways, this game here is one where you have a Monday game after an emotional weekend series. The Twins come back from a 2-0 loss yesterday. And actually a 2-1 or 3-2 bottom of the ninth deficit with home runs by both Kepler and hometown kid Wallner, who actually won the game in his hometown, in his home stadium. That was really cool. And so anyways, my point here is that you have all of that happening. You have the huge emotional win, and now you have us going on the road against an inferior opponent with our staff ace on the mound, which should be an easy spot. The Twins have actually lost these games way more than they have won. This is one where we as Twins fans are like, well, it's probably too good to be true, and usually it is. And, look, in the 2 games already or earlier this year that Joey Wentz pitched against the Twins, didn't necessarily, the second game for sure, he didn't necessarily rock it, but didn't do a bad job either. 11 innings pitched, 5 earned runs, struck out 13, and had a few walks in the second start, but in his first start only walked 1. So this is a game, like I'm just going to keep going back. This is a game that we don't win. This is letdown city. After every kind of emotional high you could possibly imagine over the weekend, now we have to go to, no offense to Big Show Picks or anybody else from the D, but now we have to go to Detroit on a random Monday and play against a team with a 2-9 starter and blah, 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 blah. This is letdown city for the Twins. So Tigers plus 145 money line. I had no other action on the other ones you've talked about so far.
Well, beautiful. I'm going to jump on Tigers plus 1.5 at minus 1.
You can do that too. Yeah.
I'm being safe, but I like that look.
This is, like I said, this is letdown city for us.
Well, it's funny. The kind of opposite is true for the Red Sox here. We'll get back to their game now. They get fucking embarrassed over the weekend at home, and now they're first of all, they're wearing their yellow uniforms, and they're apparently just a different ball club with those uniforms on. They don't lose with those uniforms on for whatever reason. They get maligned, shit on for the whole weekend. They have a clubhouse issue with Alex Verdugo. Even Alex Cora says the team takes steps back here, but this is so 2023 Red Sox for them to win this game and sweep this series in a series that does not matter because this team will win 3 in a row, lose 3 in a row. They just continue to do it, and I don't believe in this squad anymore. I was seething angry this weekend, Doc, because I was like, what the fuck are we doing not selling guys like James Paxton and went out there and shit the bed against the Blue Jays, and it was just extremely annoying. So if anything here, I'd take the Red Sox like minus 1.5 or some stupid thing, but I just absolutely have nothing on this game. I know Cole Ragans has been pitching well as of late too, because one of my best friends is a Royals fan, and he's like, man, I fucking love Cole Ragans. He's the next guy. I'm like, all right, okay.
The next guy for what?
Exactly. Well, the Royals fans' expectations are just like, I just want competence, and it doesn't happen often. So.
I mean, compared to like Zach Greinke, sure.
Yeah, that's all they've got to compare to. That's it. I was thinking about it, Doc. I was like, it really has taken a team literally getting their franchise taken from them for the Royals fans to not be like the worst, most downtrodden fan base. Like they're 29 very comfortably. And the only reason they're not the worst like situations for fans to be in or for a fans base of a team is because the fucking A's are leaving. That's it. Like Oakland fans are literally losing their team. The Royals have nothing, and all their young players have not been good or hurt. They only have Bobby Witt Jr. and people are already talking about, all right, so how are we going to trade Bobby Witt Jr. to replenish our farm system, which is like the third worst in baseball for some reason. It's shocking.
The one thing I will say about Ragans, and this can actually make you a serviceable starter in many formats in Major League Baseball, is his fastball is good stuff. It averages 96. He can run it up in the high 90s. Its horizontal movement is 65% above average for starters, 11.7 inches of horizontal break. The reason why I mention that is that he does run this way up in the zone. So if you do have a team that is prone to chasing high heat, the Dodgers would be a good example of that. They chase high heat often. That would be a really, really good matchup. The problem here is that Boston doesn't necessarily. Their chase metrics are all pretty much within line. They're just kind of average. They're just kind of average at a lot of different things, swing metric wise. So, when he runs this fastball up, it usually runs like this thing can run like way up. So, the teams that Ragans does the best against right now are teams that cannot or struggle with high heat. So his fastball velocity is in the top 1/3 of all pitchers, even now. Puts a lot of spin on the ball when he runs that thing up. But if you can lay off those pitches, his secondary pitches are still coming along. Spin on his curve is average. His changeup is very, very average, and his cutter teams are hitting 300 against. So I would say that if anybody feels confident with the Red Sox ability to hit high heat or to do anything with high heat, then a Red Sox or Red Sox first five, anything makes sense here.
This fucking team, man. I fucking hate it. I fucking hate this team. I'm gonna be fading the Red Sox at several points in the season now because their season's over. They're fucked, but not here. I just don't think the Royals are good enough to take advantage of it. I understand, again, all the money on the Royals and the line has jumped towards the Royals. I don't think the Red Sox should be minus 200 favorites against really anyone, so I understand on that point. But I think they win here tonight. If they don't, then just tear it all down, I guess. I don't fucking know. Cubs, Mets. Let's talk about this game. This game's interesting. I was shocked the Mets were favored. The Mets, lifeless, limp dick, everything in between against the Orioles. It's simply put, if you just fade the both New York teams for the rest of the year, you'll probably be up some units here. And I want to do that today here against the Mets. I just want to keep on betting against them because they just seem so just done, Doc. But let's talk about the Mets against lefties because Drew Smyly, I don't know if we can call him competent, good, whatever power ranking or adjective you want to call Drew Smyly. He's been that this year. I'll tell you, first 4 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs on 3 home runs against the Cincinnati Reds at home. Against the Cardinals, a team we remember used to crush lefties, 4 1/3, 2 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run. And that was off a back-to-back where he got crushed before them. Very interesting. Let's double check and see if he's faced the Mets. He has faced the Mets this year. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs on a home run there. God damn, Drew Smyly loves giving up home runs. But I think he's capable of shutting down the Mets here today. And Kodai Senga, again, we all kind of know Senga's deal right now. Home road splits tell the story. Home road splits this year, 56 innings pitched at home, a 2.40 ERA compared to a road 4.14 inning ERA in 54.1 innings pitched there. So I do like a first 5 under in this game, but I also like the Cubs here, Doc. Market-wise, real quick, let's talk about that before I pass it off to you here. We have money line wise, 62% of the bets and 80% of the money on the Cubs because everyone loves fading the Mets, and I definitely understand that right now. And totals wise here, 38% of the bets and 56% of the money on the underdog. Think I would be moving on that first 5 under, but do I want to back the Cubs here? What do you think?
Yeah. So Drew Smiley, I mean, at this point in his career, I mean, he is who he is, right? I mean, he's not changing. He's a veteran pitcher. He's a soft tosser. He doesn't throw with velo. He is going to throw you a sinker to get strikes, and he's going to throw you a curveball to put it away. And his curveball somehow, even over the last few seasons, has actually lost velo. So the guy only threw it near 80 miles per hour, even during his heyday. It's somehow gotten slower. He's averaging 78, and actually sometimes he'll drop it in like the low 70s. The thing just hangs. And so if you can wait on that curve and not be out in front of it, then you can be very, very okay. And because he tosses so softly, anytime he leaves one hanging, you said Drew Smiley likes to give up a lot of home runs. That would be why. The problem here, though, is that for the season, and this is back before they started tanking, this is for the whole season. The Mets K percentage against the curveball coming into this game is 32.1%. That is above MLB average of 29.5%. It's actually been even worse lately since they started selling here. They also have some guys that are in the lineup tonight that have some really, really poor averages against the curveball here. So that would actually support your under for this one. When I look at Smiley's innings prop, I do see here that it's slightly over what he has been pitching, but what that could mean is, based on what I'm seeing, is that he's going to pitch to contact because he's not going to strike as many people out. So I'm personally not playing his strikeout prop. I think you can look at the under 4.5 on this one, more specifically because even though the Mets have just been absolutely ass, they have only been striking out to lefties 19.7% of the time over the last 20 days. Smiley specifically does not strike out lefties. 13.2%, and the Mets lineup, which I believe is now confirmed it is going to run 5 lefties against him. So they're being analytical about this one tonight. So, I can see him definitely pitching to contact here. And so no official play for me, but I would not be opposed to your under.
I'm taking the full game money line for the Cubs, excuse me. And I'm going to stay off the under because, shockingly enough, this line has moved up. I looked at the line history. This opened up an 8.5 and moved up to a 9 for some odd reason. So I'm going to stay off. I'd rather, just based off that, I'd rather be on the over there. But I'll take the Cubs first shot or full game money line plus 102. Maybe, just maybe. That's a sign that Senga gets hit here today. And maybe that's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, the thing with Senga too is that one of the things that the Cubs have actually been extremely, extremely good at doing, specifically against right-handed pitching, they are walking over 10% of the time in the last 21 days. They also have the lowest gap of all teams playing today between their strikeout rate and their walk rate. Why is that important? Because in situations like this, Senga does have a walk rate that's nearing or sometimes over 8%, has had an issue with that, and only has a 38th percentile chase rating. Why that's important is that the Cubs' overall chase percentage has gone down considerably since. I saw someone in the chat that they're best team in the NL since the All-Star break. That's partially why. They're being very patient at the plate. So if they can lay off that ghost fork, they can actually draw a lot of extra base runners, a lot of guys on base. The walks are a huge reason why they've been putting up so many runs lately.
All right, Cubs money line official for me here, and it seems like again,
I get why.
Just bet against the Mets and the Yankees every day, and it seems like you'll make some money. The Red Sox might be on that fucking list too here. By the way, apparently I'm looking sickly today, Doc. I've been told to get some vitamins.
Really?
Apparently,
No, I don't think so. I don't think you look any different.
I'm looking sickly. I don't know.
Interesting.
Maybe the K-pop stands are getting to me. Who knows?
I heard you got threatened
several times.
Them and the Swifties, man. You just don't mess with them. You just don't mess with them with the K-pop fans or the Swifties. They'll get you.
Yeah, I had some Taylor Swift thoughts about her dance moves the other day, and I was like, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe not.
No.
Those in the holster there.
No. My daughter's a teenager, and she finds it shocking whenever she asks me about a Taylor Swift song, and I'm like, I don't really like that one. What? Like, it's just blasphemous that I like 15 of her other songs, but then that one, I'm like, I don't really like that one. And that's blasphemy. Total blasphemy.
The real question is, are you on the hook for concert tickets?
She already went to it when it was here.
Oh, buddy. Yeah. I've heard those concert tickets there's wars over those.
You would be amazed, though. We actually found somebody who needed to sell them immediately. And so we actually, so she actually, there were 2 seats. I didn't go. My wife took her, and we're sitting like 3 rows off of the floor for like face value, basically. No markup at all. It was really cool.
Yeah. I don't know much about music, as many as the people in the chat will know, but I've heard many things about that concert, and I've heard she's playing like 40 songs. I'm like, oh my gosh.
The concert started at 6:30 and they got home around 1 a.m.
Oh my God. What a grinder, Taylor Swift.
It is a long show.
What a fucking grinder.
Oh yeah. It's a long show.
We worship Taylor Swift here.
So
don't come.
Yeah. So just real quick story before I move on. True story. Travis Kelce was trying to give her and talk with her, and actually made her this. She has this thing where like fans make bracelets for each other. That's like their sisterhood thing. I don't get it. Don't know. Don't care. But he made a bracelet for her with his phone number on it, and it said, "Call me TK." And he couldn't give it to her because she doesn't talk on the days of her show because she has to save her voice to sing 5,000 songs. That's a true story. Doesn't talk to anybody.
That's Jordan. She's Jordan.
Yeah. So the day that she was in wherever Travis Kelce was, he actually made her a bracelet with his phone number on it and was trying to hook up with her. And she said no, that she couldn't meet with him because she doesn't talk to anybody on show days. That's probably just an excuse because she didn't want to
that's a good excuse.
Be hit on by Travis Kelce, but who knows?
That's a good excuse. No, I'm gonna tell my loved ones that as well. I don't talk on show days.
I don't talk on show days.
I do
That's
a show.
Why I couldn't attend the meeting just now. I don't talk on show days. Sorry.
Yeah, I do a show literally every day, but I do not talk on show days. That's how that works. All right, let's get to baseball here again. We appreciate everyone in the chat as always. Hit the like button while you guys are here. Blue Jays Guardians here. Hyunjin Ryu back in our lives again versus Gavin Williams. Ryu did not look bad in his first start. Like at many points, I thought he looked like old Ryu. I was pretty impressed. 5 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs against the Orioles. The Orioles are very good. So I kind of, pass that off as a not a horrible first start, but I was pretty impressed. And I have been way off on pitchers, on, I guess, Japanese and Korean pitchers this year, because I thought my guy Kenta Maeda was done, and he's been just absolutely dominant since he's come back from the IL. Cleveland, second worst against lefties full season, 82 weighted runs created plus. By the way, 82 is second worst. The Rockies are the worst at 68. 68 compared to 82. That is horrific. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ, Colorado. Last month, Cleveland was 26, 75 weighted runs created plus for them here. I mean, it just feels like a Ryu spot. Think you can get the dub. The Blue Jays feeling great after sweeping the Red Sox and taking them out of the World Wild Card position. But I don't know. Gavin Williams, shout out to the Earl boys. Gavin Williams is very competent, good pitcher, and I think this could be another first 5 under spot. Doc, this went from 9 to 8.5, it seems. I'm going to be interested in a first 5 under here. Let's talk about the market. I guess, unsurprisingly, well, this actually is a little surprising. 80% of the tickets and only 54% of the money on the under here. So some substantial bets on the over in this game. 20% of the bets and 46% of the money. It's very interesting on the over. And everyone and their moms apparently on the Blue Jays here. 70% of the bets here and 90% of the money on the Blue Jays. When this opened up at minus 110, allegedly, and I had this opening up at minus 128. That's just what Action said, but I don't believe them. So just make that a note. But I guess I have to stay off this game, Doc. I like that first 5 under, but the big, bigger bets being on the over, I guess, has me a little worried. What do you think?
Yeah, I have a slight lean here, and well, two slight leans. Number one is on the Guardians. Actually, the type of pitcher that Ryu is so he's got 4 pitches, and none of them top 90 miles an hour. He is a soft tossing junk baller.
Yeah.
But you go back and look at some of these, especially the lefties, which this might change your mind on the under. They have actually done quite well against a team like the Guardians. So you think of the Guardians, they're high contact. They don't strike out. They are number 2 overall in baseball in contact for the season. And they're actually number 1 since the All-Star break. But, you go back and look, and I know that he's a righty, but like a guy like JP France has faced him twice, struck out 6 both times, and has allowed a total of 5 earned runs in almost 14 innings against them. 1 on the road, 1 at home. You look at other soft tossers that they've gone against here, and it's kind of the same story. So you look at a guy like Chase Anderson. Even he struck out 3 or 4 against them, and his fastball barely gets up to what Ryu's is. So I'm not going to put anything on this game. My other lean for this one would actually be Ryu's strikeout prop for this one. I'm not officially playing it, but the over is at minus 115. It opened at plus 110, and it's been taking money pretty much all day. So for a Ryu strikeout prop to take money on an over at the Guardians when they're only striking out 14% of the time against lefties, that is very, very suspicious. The other reason why I lean this way is because the Guardians at home against lefties walk only 4.7% of the time. Ryu is not a guy who puts a lot of guys on base. 4.3%, 5.1, somewhere between 4 and 5% on the road over the last few seasons, which are the metrics that I use. And you have a very, very low bar to clear here with 3.5. So, it's not something that I would rush out to put a bag on, but I do have a strong lean, which goes against the grain of conventional wisdom, that Ryu actually might not be that bad tonight.
All right. Well, I just set a poll in there, but I just fucked up the poll by putting yes or no. So I have to remake the poll. I'm going to ask the chat here. First 5 over or under here in this game. Doc, what do you think about that?
Lean under, but no official play.
All right. And
But no, I saw Sky Dragon's comment about Ryu deals. I would not be surprised. His innings projection, his outs projection is about 7% more than what I would expect at this point. It's actually higher than 5, which was kind of surprising to me, which, since he doesn't strike that many guys out and he doesn't really throw that hard, the other way that you get beyond 5 innings is with a guy like him is you get a bunch of guys out and you pitch well. So the simple fact that even in his second start back on the road, his innings prop suggests that he's going to pitch longer than 5 innings, to me says that there might be something there.
All right. Beautiful. I just put the poll up. I'm going to leave it up for the rest of the show. You guys put your vote in, and I'll be very interested to see what you guys have to say in the chat about that. And maybe we'll see. First 5 under, 4.5 minus 105 right now. So we'll see. All right, next game on the card. I don't give a solemn fuck about this game, and I'd rather talk about the next game, Doc. So I'll quickly give out the market for this game, but I have no thoughts here. I don't care about Peter Lambert, a.k.a. Peter Lambert, according to Jimmy. I just want nothing to do with this game. I expect the Brewers to win, but who the fuck knows? Excuse me. 41% of the bets and only 44% of the cash on the Brewers, so more people like the Rockies slightly, I guess. 75% of the bets and 67% of the money on the under in this game as well. Doc, do you have anything on this one?
No. I mean, I think if you're looking at a strikeout prop, I think that Peralta, over is the only way to go on that one. 8.5 is way up there though. That's even at home, that's way up there. The Rockies, I mean, if a team is going to strike out that often, that would be the team to do it, because they're striking out 25.5% versus righties. They're striking out even more versus lefties. Their swing metrics are just god awful atrocious. Obviously, this is a team just playing out the string for this year and playing for next year. But my only advice for this one would be maybe if you can get a Peralta K prop and you can alt it down one to like a 7.5, because it doesn't matter. 8.5 is just, that's way up. I mean, you're talking Spencer Strider territory there. And I don't necessarily think that, even given the spot, that Freddie Peralta has quote unquote earned the right to be lined that way, even against a team like the Rockies. So, and obviously with the under so heavily juiced, no, I'm not touching this one.
Beautiful. All right, let's move on to White Sox versus the Yankees here. And we purposely did not talk about our good friend Tim Anderson while we were talking the Guardians. Oh my God. I think I've watched that video 300 times. It's the funniest thing to me. First of all, as a member of the Jose community, we've come a long way. The last baseball fight included one of our own getting cracked in the face. Didn't go down. Jose Bautista did not go down. And this year, the Jose community is back with Jose Ramirez giving a one-hit acquitta. Shout out to my guy Petey, to Tim Anderson's jaw with the second cleanest baseball punch in history and in the best baseball fight probably in history. Doc, I want to ask you, like, this is like where if you saw like JFK die, where were you when this happened? How did you receive the news?
Through Twitter, I think. Was just watching a game and heard about it, and then I replayed the video more than a few times, and I saw Let's Dance's comment about down goes Anderson. That was literally what was playing in my head, was the down goes Frazier, that comment, but then down goes Anderson, that over and over and over again. And I was just saying, like if they really want to fight, like, let's sell some tickets and let's get some bets going on it. Like I'll take them for a KO in the second round. I mean, what the hell, right?
Well, first of all, big shout out to the umpire, who handled it like a professional. He saw both of them drop their mitts, square up, and he said, "You know what? Have at it."
Hockey style. Let them fight. Let them go.
This is someone like my guy Dallas Braden's been saying this. Let them settle their difference and give them 30 seconds. Give them 30 seconds in there. And, it only took Jose Ramirez like 5 seconds. All he needed was those 5 seconds.
One shot.
Oh, my God. It was,
one shot drop.
And I've been thinking, I just don't know how Tim Anderson can recover from this. And of course, today, all the reports that obviously Kenyon Middleton, which makes this Yankees game a little more interesting, Kenyon Middleton talking shit about the White Sox, saying their culture is horrible, et cetera, naming players by name. Grandal, Eloy, Yo. I was like, oh my gosh, it was great. I was like, this is hilarious. But the White Sox right now are just, they're in the dregs of fandom right now. They're in the dregs of what they are. And it's crazy to me that they're getting such a decent price here. And I want to take them. Like, I want to believe that a fight can galvanize a team here, but I can't do it here. I think I'm going to move on the under, full game under in this game, but we'll see here. Let me talk about the market here, and then I'll address you heathens in the chat. Under market in this game, wow, shocking enough, 67% of the bets and 56% of the money on the over in this game. That's surprising with both pitchers on the bump. We have Cease and Cole, obviously, the aces, etc. Money line wise, unsurprisingly, 90% of the bets and 93% of the money on the Yankees. I'm not surprised, but I kind of do like the White Sox here. I'm not going to lie. And by the way, of course, I know down goes Frazier. I've watched my Muhammad Ali documentary. Shout out to When We Were Kings. I would say a top 3 sports documentary ever. When We Were Kings, excellent. And I do know Down Goes Frazier, and the radio call for the Guardians, that whole Down Goes Anderson, that should be in the Hall of Fame. That should be in the Hall of Fame. They should play that when you walk in. One of the best baseball calls I've heard in quite a long time. And I every time I listen to it now, I just start screaming, "Down goes Anderson." It's the best. And then again, I don't know how Tim Anderson, I don't know how he escapes this.
Yep. So actually, in the chat, Vitalis is right about 2 things. Number one is he is right. This is a Yankee spot, but there's no way we're paying minus 170 for juice. I've advised that many, many times on this show, that betting minus 180, minus 200 favorites in MLB is just the quickest path to ruin because of that insane juice. So now, as far as I'm trying to set up a fight like between Paul and Diaz. If I can promote it and profit off of it, or even get some bets in on it, hell yeah, I am. Anything that prints money, I'm interested in. But to me, Down Goes Frazier. To me, I rank as one of the greatest sports calls ever. Just right next to, or just ahead or below, from Secretariat when he was winning the Belmont, when he's moving like a tremendous machine. That was one of that to me is my favorite sports call ever. So, but as far as this game goes, I am actually going to make this official. I am going to go on the under as well. I'm under 7.5 on this one, plus 100. That is on BetMGM right now. Obviously the starting pitchers, for sure on this one. And, the White Sox hitting has just been pretty pathetic so far. So this to me seems like a 3-2 game, or like a 4-2 game, somewhere in that area. So I will move on the full game under 7.5 plus 100. Oh, and by the way, you talked about some people talking about the White Sox dysfunctionality. I've heard a lot of stories about that too. I have heard that there's really only one or two MLB locker rooms or clubhouses that are more dysfunctional, and one of them is a team that was just playing right now out in California.
Yeah, man.
That would be the Padres.
I cannot believe the Padres are that bad.
I've heard many stories from many different people that it is the most dysfunctional locker room, and they all hate each other. They all hate Melvin. Yeah. Nobody likes Melvin. Nobody likes each other. Everybody is a prima donna. There's guys that just, they have some decisions to make after the season.
That's crazy. That's just insane. Yeah, I Bob Melvin's an excellent coach, but he's going to go, and it's going to be sad.
He has to. Yeah, there's a lot of guys on that team that if you believe what you read, he has completely lost. He's just lost the locker room. They don't respect him anymore.
Yeah, so it happens when you go from managing the A's, I guess, to now managing the fucking second highest payroll in sports, or whatever it is.
Doesn't know how to do it. I don't know. I don't follow them enough to pretend to know what their problems are. I just know that where there's smoke, there's fire, and I've heard way too many rumors that and people that even through DM on Twitter that I've heard that it is by far the most dysfunctional locker room in Major League Baseball. But that's not the game we're talking about right now. I do go back to my official play would be under 7.5 plus 100.
Well, Doc, what if I could tell you there's 8s out there?
What's the juice, though?
There's 8s. Bet online, you can get an under 8 at minus 114.
I'd probably take that instead then, yeah.
Which is pretty surprising. Yeah,
I would take it as a push. Yeah, I don't. The plus money is nice, but it's only even money, so I don't mind paying 14 cents juice for the extra half run for this one.
Yeah, the Bet Online opened it at 8. It's still at 8. Bovada has opened it up at 7.5, and it's stayed at 7.5. Juice to the over. What a difficult game this is going to be. I guess I'll take the under 8 minus 114 as well here, but. It's going to be a weird one here. I really think that the White Sox could show something here. And by the way, again, dysfunctional. Yasmani Grandal just slapping Tim Anderson apparently before him getting just beat the hell out of by Jose Ramirez. He what a 2 weeks Tim Anderson is having. What a couple of weeks. Doesn't get traded, beat up by his teammate, beat up by Jose Ramirez. Man, what a time to be alive. All right, next game. We only have 2 games left on our card here. Let's go to the West Coast. Giants, Angels. The Angels on the it's cannot bet list. Yeah, I'm sure everyone's seen the graphic or seen the tweet, the X, whatever we're calling it nowadays, about all the teams at the deadline, and it's shocking to see, Doc. I'm scrolling through right now to find it because it's so funny to see that all these teams that went in to try to buy have just shit their pants. Like, for example, this very Angels squad has not won a game since the trade deadline.
Nope.
It's just baffling here, Doc. So I'm actually a little surprised we only get -120 with Logan Webb here. I thought they'd be a little more juice, and I respect Patrick Sandoval. I think he's a quality pitcher. Let's check what the Giants do against lefties. Oh, makes sense. 28th, 85 weighted runs created plus against lefties. So I guess that makes me understand why there's such a low price here, but I can't get there. I just ultimately cannot get there, and I do not want to bet this game at all. I lean under again here. Let's check the market here before I pass it off to you, Doc. The money line to start in Giants Angels. We have, not I guess surprisingly 66% of the bets and only 45% of the money on the Giants. So bigger bets on the Angels here, thinking that they bounce back after all this bullshit they're going through. And 61% of the bets and 65% of the money on the under there as well, Doc. What do you think?
Yeah, this for sure would be an Angels spot for me. Angels are nothing in this case. I don't know if the plus 106 is probably enough, which I'm seeing right now on BetMGM again. I don't know if the plus 106 is enough to make me want to move on this one. To your point, the Angels offense has just looked anemic since that trade deadline, since all those acquisitions that they made. They're sure not making a case to keep Shohei, that's for sure. But that being said, the Giants have been, no way to sugarcoat it, really, really bad on the road against lefties. 25.5% K percentage for the year. Against lefties, 27 over the last 20 days. They are also not walking. They have the second highest gap today of all teams between their strikeout and their walk ratio against the type of pitcher that they're facing. 7.1 walk per rate. So since the All-Star break, they have had 20% more strikeouts than walks against lefties. That's ugly. That is not good at all. The other thing here is that Sandoval does or can make guys chase. In fact, sometimes he does it too well because he does walk guys at a 10% clip, 10% clip for the season, 6% at home. Doesn't really matter when you have a team that can be so undisciplined as the Giants. So I think that that's probably playing a factor here. What I really want to look at for this one is I tried to get there with the Angels first 5 money line because I do think that Sandoval, just because of the Giants' struggles against lefties, can actually go out and can have a decent game. The Giants also, they're left-handed versus lefties on the road, a ISO for the year of 112, which is 29th in baseball, first to last, ahead of only the A's. You talked about the weighted runs created plus. They just do not do well against lefties. So I think if you're looking to attack this game, I would look to attack some fashion of Angels first 5. That's where I would look, but it's probably not one that I'm going to want to touch. To me, regardless of how good Webb pitches and how anemic, again, the Angels offenses have been, because they have been, it's really hard for me to trust the Giants against lefties in any capacity ever, especially on the road.
Well, I'm passing here as well. I guess I lean Angels, but I really want nothing to do with them. It's funny. I was just looking at the standings here, Doc. The winning streaks and the losing streaks right are crazy. For example, here, let's just go to the AL West. The Texas Rangers have won 6 straight. The Mariners have won 5 straight. And you have the Angels on an L6, 2 of 8 in their last 10. The NL East, Miami Marlins have lost 4 straight. The Mets have lost 6 straight. The Reds have lost 6 straight. The Diamondbacks have lost 6 straight. Like, Jesus.
Yep. So fun fact for the season, in every single one of these metrics against lefties on the road. So you have strikeout percentage, batting average, on base, slugging, OPS, ISO, weighted runs created, and rated runs created plus. These against lefties on the road, the San Francisco Giants are 22nd or worse in every single one of those metrics. If that doesn't say struggle against lefties, I don't know what does.
Yeah, so I wouldn't hate a first 5 under in this game as well, but I'm not going to move on.
I don't know. I just it's just, if I could trust the Angels offense anymore, which I can't, I would take the Angels first 5 for this one. It's just, I see the chat and I hear you guys talking about Webb, and it's watch a full game of the Giants versus a quality or even semi-quality lefty, especially one who can make you chase. Sandoval has a chase rating in the 66th percentile. Sometimes that works to his disadvantage because he throws pitches he throws those breaking balls way out of the strike zone, which are easy to lay off of, but the Giants don't do that. So that's why even on a short card Monday, there's probably better spots you can get your money in.
Okay, nothing on this game. Last game, Rangers, A's. And by the way, just by the looks of my background, it looks like the guys are going live right now. The Monday night live stream, Jimmy the Bag, all those guys. So shout out to Jimmy and all of them. So go tune in there right after we're done. We're almost done here. We're on the last game. And let's talk about it. The A's versus the Rangers here. I mean, I've been a Rangers hater all year. I don't like Dane Dunning, but this is the A's. So I guess they're going to sweep this series and just pull off a 10-game winning streak real quick and just frustrate the hell out of me. But I don't know. I can't keep on shitting on the Rangers. They just win this division, I guess. So I've got nothing here, Doc. I'll talk about the market here after you give your take. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, this is one where I mean, I was going to say that Dane Dunning looks absolutely cooked until he went out and just obliterated the White Sox. But that was, that was at home. So for me, for this one, I'm actually looking, and believe it or not, I'm actually looking at the A's first 5 team total, 1.5 at -120. I'm going to move on that one. I'm going to go Oakland A's team total over 1.5. I think you can also look at Dane Dunning's hits too. Look, the last game was the exception, not the rule, against the White Sox. When you look at that before, he had allowed 5+ hits in 5 straight starts and had also allowed 5+ hits in 12 of his last 13 starts. I don't care what team you're against, major league hitters, you give them those kind of pitches and they're going to hit them. So I think if you have a Dunning hits prop, you can also look over. You might actually, I think last time I checked, it was 5.5 is +110. I'm not opposed to sprinkling on that. Not that I think that Oakland's offense has all of a sudden figured it out, but 1.5 is a low bar to clear for a pitcher that, quite frankly, except for one start over the last 2.5 months. And keep in mind too that that was against a team that had just essentially gutted itself with the White Sox. That was almost right after. They've just been getting absolutely destroyed. So I'm going to go with the Oakland A's first 5 team total over 1.5.
All right. Well, I've got nothing. I understand, A's against the shitty pitcher and Dunning. I can understand it, but I'm not moving on this game. I think I've got a lot of action on this card right now as it is. So let's recap our show here and let's send you guys off to the Monday night live stream with our guy Jimmy and the company. Shout out to everyone in here as always. Chocolatey Waterfall, Vitalis, Saturated RVD 420, Roco, Real Deal Prime, Let's Dance, Saturated, Cheshire Cat in here, Jay Peasy, Slow Jams, Tori Coker, Justin McElvey, Fat Cat Ninja, LG, all you guys. We appreciate you guys as always for being in here, and I appreciate you guys as well. I love you more, Chocolatey Waterfall. I can guarantee you that. Let's get into this recap here, Doc. I'd love to hear your place first while I get my shit sorted out over here.
Yep. So 3 for me. So I am on the under 8 for -114 for the Yankees and White Sox. Like you said, I'm on the Detroit Tigers full game money line at +145. Letdown City for my Twins. It's one of those where, like, part of me hopes that I'm wrong, but I don't think that I am. And Oakland A's first 5 team total over 1.5, because except for his last start, which was against a White Sox team that had just gutted their entire team and was clearly giving the message that they're packing it in, Dane Dunning has been absolutely god awful.
Oh boy, it's gonna be fun to watch that game. All right, my card here: Yankees, White Sox, full game under 8, -114. Shout out to our friends at Bet Online. We've got Miami Marlins money line -133, a little juicy there, but believing in Yuri Perez. Hopefully, those two minor league starts aren't an indication of what's going to happen. Doubling up on the Washington Nationals here, fading the Phils. Full game money line +206, first 5 +0.5 at +133. Trevor Williams, for the love of fucking God, do not shit your pants today, my man. Please help me out here. Throw me a bone, Trevor. Detroit +1.5 there, following you, fading your Twins. Chicago Cubs full game money line +102. And as you guys probably saw in the chat, I finished the poll here. I believe it was 55% of the people in the chat said the first 5 under. And I'll ride with you guys. First 5 under, 4.5 -105 in Toronto, Cleveland Guardians. So hoping that Gavin Williams can keep his shit together, and maybe Ryu can look pretty good there. Doc, I appreciate you for joining me as always. What's going on in your world, Doc? Anything to plug before we get out of here?
No, just at Spin Doc Sports. Also over the next few weeks, you'll see something coming out this week about it. For as much as I play strikeout props in baseball, I'm even bigger in NFL and fantasy football. So I've actually played in too many high dollar leagues. Meaning like entry is 200, 250 or above. And they are also keeper, dynasty, auction, salary cap. Basically like you're running your own NFL franchise. And so I'm going to do a couple free previews. I always do divisional previews for my VIPs, where I give breakdowns of all the fantasy impact, coaching changes, offensive line changes, signings, comings, goings, etc., to help people prepare for their fantasy drafts. And I'm a firm believer, always have been, that the draft is where at least 70 to 80% of a championship team is made. And there are there's more than 5, but there's 5 biggest common mistakes that people do at their fantasy draft that I'm also going to share as well. So those will just be free Twitter spaces. And then obviously if you're one of my VIPs, then I will break down all of the divisions for you. I also give out daily bites, like daily little bites about training camp, who's performing, who's not, who's doing well, who's not, who's rising, who's falling. People are going to start to draft probably in the next few weeks here. So whether your league is a redraft or an auction or a dynasty, doesn't really make a difference. I also, for anybody who is a VIP, I also build custom draft boards for people, based on your settings, your stuff, your everything, can build that up till the day of the draft. So there's a tool that I use that I build them all.
Beautiful work. Fantasy football season is coming
up. So I've already got my draft board. I've already got actually last night, just real quick before we go, because I know we got to go. Last night I gave out, if you drafted today, who is the one guy at each position that I think that would have the highest extreme value at their ADP or average draft position. And just real quick appetite wetter, the wide receiver would be a rookie from Minnesota, from my hometown. So you guys should know who that is. So that's a guy that I'm trying to get in damn near every draft that I have.
Yeah, I agree.
Huge things in store for this kid. Just watch. And I'm not a Vikings fan. I'm saying this.
See, I have obviously baseball consumes my life, but the rare times I run on a baseball podcast, I throw on my fantasy football podcast because I know that's coming up, and I have that person circled on my calendar, my draft board, etc. as well. I'm in a keeper league. I've been in one with my Virginia friends, and my 2 keepers are Christian McCaffrey and Austin Eckler. So I just try to find all the receivers I can and just hope that I can keep it together.
Is it a PPR?
Yes.
You're way
good. Half point PPR, actually.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Those are the two to have. Those are the two to have. But yeah.
I won the league last year, thankfully. So we're trying to go back to back. It'll be great. Great.
But yeah, for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about Jordan Addison from the
Vikings. Okay, now you're just spilling out the beans, Doc.
You didn't know. Jordan Addison from the Vikings. Target him.
Oh God, it's gonna be fun. Unless you're in a league with me, please do not. We'll show our appreciation again, guys, everyone, ladies, Chocolatey Waterfall, all you guys make this show worth doing. We appreciate you guys. Follow us on Twitter at SpinDocSports. Next show for me, Miss Waterfall, is tomorrow. Obviously, we've got our guy Bobano joining us at Say Hey Plays, 4 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Eastern. Next show on the pub. Stay right here because once this stream ends, it'll kick you over to Jimmy the Bag, live betting, Yankees, White Sox, and obviously little Cubs Mets up there as well. So him and Mike M will break down the whole card right now. Could be a whole lot of fun. Appreciate you guys. Vitalis, Cheshire, Chocolatey Waterfall, Lottie, Louisiana, Tori, Cheshire Cat, I love you too. All you guys, Ricky Bobby, thanks for being a member, my guy. Don't forget to sign up for the Survivor contest. We're doing that over at pubsportsradio.com. And Doc, I hope to see you hopefully in the Cappers contest this year on the Pub Sports Radio website. $100 to enter. You pick your 5 teams against the spread every week. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. Again, reminder, hashtag beat Pete. Say hey, guys. Follow us on Twitter at SpinDocSports, at Jose Bouquett. And we'll see you guys next time.